Okay, we're coming into Weston, Colorado, about 18 miles west of Trinidad along Highway 12. I just want to show, I'm going to show you the drive to this property we're going to today. It's 35 acres in San Pablo Canyon Ranch, and it's really tucked away back in the ranch. Very private. Should have good hunting opportunity on it. Good chance of water well. Power's very close, and the covenants are light for San Pablo, not much more than county, and the POA dues are very low each year, like the county taxes on the property. This is pretty when you're driving in to Weston. We're fixing to come into town. We're going to take a right and go up Wet Canyon Road about 6 miles, and then take a left into San Pablo Canyon Ranch, and I'll be showing you the drive in there. What you're seeing in the background, the mountains are Sangre de Cristo Mountains. They run north and south, and they're good orientation. All the public lands are up there, a lot of them. Lakes, just got back from one. And behind Weston here, there's 35,000 acres of wildlife area, and then there's a couple other wildlife areas you can get to driving through the hills from this property. So this is the little town of Weston. What you're going to see on your left is the Weston Post Office and Supply Store. Oh, throw the blinker on. You see the metal building there? So you take a right onto, there's no sign, Wet Canyon Road, or County Road 31.9. And this is paved all the way up to the ranch entrance, so you'll have about 3-4 miles of year-round maintained road going up to the property. We just passed mile marker 1, so you do have mile markers, and I'll try to give you a better estimation of the entrance to the ranch as far as distance from Weston. And when you're driving up Wet Canyon, oh, there's that bad spot. When I'm filming, I always hit it. You see the West Spanish Peak in the background back there, and it's like the Sangre de Cristos I was just showing to you, the mountains. They look a lot bigger, but I'm not going to zoom in when I'm driving. One other thing I wanted to say about the mountains in the beginning, and the West Spanish Peak and the East Spanish Peak, there's Wilderness Area National Forest at the top of, or around all those. They're encompassed by it. Now we're passing mile marker 3. Still just headed up Wet Canyon. Basically, all these canyons that run off of Highway 12 that runs east and west, for the most part, all these feeder canyons like Wet Canyon run basically north and south. Now, just after about 3 miles on your left hand side, you're going to see the old sawmill, and it's still in operation. It's a great place to get rough cut lumber from if you wanted to build a cabin yourself, and it's not very far from the property. We've got tongue and groove materials as well. Here's mile marker 4. We just passed mile marker 5, and this is a neat little, this is where the canyon kind of starts to narrow a little bit, Wet Canyon, and then it opens up further up the road. But the turn off to San Pablo Canyon isn't going to be much further. Just past mile marker 6, so right after mile marker 6, about 6.5 miles. Take a left. Okay, once you see that nice house sitting in that meadow, you come around, you see that big old rock. You're gonna see mailboxes here. This is where you would get mail, and they'll deliver like FedEx and UPS when you first right to your place if you do something. San Pablo Canyon Drive is the road sign, and the entrance is easy enough to recognize. We're going to go about 4.5-5 miles up in here to the property. I'll be showing you. Just stay on the main canyon road until there's one point where you take a right, and it has a steep hill for about, I don't know, 100 yards, maybe a little less. And after that, it's nice to get to the property. And then the property does have an old Jeep trail access road. There is one property to the north of it that is allowed access through that. But what's really nice about that Jeep trail going through it, the property, is that it gives you a way to get down to the bottom meadows. This property has two real nice bottom meadows on it. And back up in here, the elk and the deer, you know, they're everywhere up here. You might even, in this canyon, or on in these meadows, on this property, you might even have a turkey or two every once in a while. We've driven about 2 miles so far from the entrance of San Pablo Canyon Range Road Drive. You stay right at this Dude Canyon and San Pablo Canyon Drive juncture. Just stay right. Stay in the bottom valley. I'd say about another 2 miles up here. We're going to take a right, maybe a mile and a half. Man, it looks about. Looks about like that when you're driving up. Just at 4 miles right now, coming off of the main entrance. You don't turn anywhere here. This three-way juncture. We stay on San Pablo Canyon Drive, and right after that sign with that three-way juncture, just up here, we're going to take a right and go up the hill. On to Mountain View Drive, right in the sun. Like I say, this is steep for about 100 yards. It's not too bad. You can do it. You could pull an RV up this. And because at the elevation it's at, and a little amount of snow, and also the road is the roads are maintained throughout the year, plowed. If you do get snow, and it sticks around for very long. We do get snow. I'd say about 100 to 120 inches a year if we're having normal seasons, and it stays around for a couple days and then it's melted off and gone. So now we're coming to the top of the hill. You can see, I'll get out here. We're going to stay left. We're going to take a left when you get to the top of the hill. And when you get to the top of the hill, we just came up. Here's the main canyon. Coming up here, we came around, came up the drive. You can see the Sangre de Cristo, the Spanish Peak, the West Spanish Peak. It's huge. And you can see the Sangre de Cristo chain all across. Okay, we're looking at the aerial map. I don't know if you can see the black line going around. You'll see the maps better on my site. We're sitting right here. There's that gas well I just showed you. So we're going to go through these trees until we get to the western boundary line of the property, and then we're going to keep going into the property. We'll see this cliff rock face and things on this side leading down into this valley, and you can see the property has all this grass valley down in here, and you can see the road continues on down through it down to the bottom, which would give you access. You can come around and even get to this meadow over here. Like I say, this is tucked back in here. They should have good animals back in here. Okay, let's see what we got. I'm not gonna put my seatbelt on. I don't don't think I'm gonna run into any traffic or anything. Yep, there's power lines going right down, maybe all the way even to the property. Sure is. So we're on the property now. I can tell just by looking at it. So you have this flat, nice big flat area up top up here, and you're gonna see the West Spanish. You're gonna see the Spanish Peaks, and you're gonna see all the way out to Fisher's Peak over Trinidad, which is about, oh, I don't know. Oh, that's just right over I-25 and over Trinidad, Colorado. So we're on, this is going to be the flat spot on the topo, and I'll get out and walk around that a little bit, and you're going to have great views of the West Spanish Peak and the East Spanish Peak. You got views down this other valley over here. This comes from a different, when you drive further up Wet Canyon, you can get to this valley and take a left and come up into it, and that's Fisher's Peak over there. So I'll get out and take a look here real quick, and then I'm gonna, looks like the road's in good enough condition, I'm gonna drive down to the bottom. Actually, I'm gonna go ahead and drive down the bottom. Need some maintenance. You got a culvert here, that's nice, but the road's not too bad condition. And you can see this sharp turnaround jag on the aerial. And I am going to first gear. Four-wheel drive pop around. Yeah. And these roads are to be maintained by the subdivision. So, but if no one's back in here, like I say, this road accesses one other property to the north, and there's power going through the property, so you have power as well. And this is just taking us down to the Meadow Valley down below that's on this property. And there's another Meadow Valley, it's right down in there. A couple of nice culverts in here. For this road not being used, it's in real good shape. Right now we're driving through all the property, and if you look at the aerial map, we're headed north right now. Top of the map is north. Always on maps. The property boundary line, the northern boundary. This is where I drill a water well, and I'd run the line up that road. The northern boundary property line runs across this canyon right here, and then goes up on the top of this cliff. It's be a great place for a water well. And a lot of this meadow right here is a part of it. You can gauge it by looking at the aerial map, and maybe some of these rock formations. Okay, I'm going to drive back up to the flat top area on top, and over there on that side, you'll see when I fly the drone, the land kind of goes gently on the, you can tell by the topo map up that hill over there. So the southern boundary line basically runs right along the top of the that ridge right there, east and west, and you see Fisher's Peak. Okay, this is the direction we came in on, and of course I drove down and around and to the bottom. Now I'm back on top where you see on the topo. I'm facing north, and this big flat spot area right here, that's where we're at. And of course, there's power here. All you need is just a drop to a cabin or RV site or something. And to have somebody come in here, I would take it starting back there and knock in a nice RV build site, cabin site, whatever right here. You're gonna have the views of the peaks. I'll show you this over here first. I'll be flying my drone over this. Lots of sandstone formations. Like this one. There's lots of them when you're going down through this road down to the bottom too. They're pretty. Okay, so looking at the aerial, which is black and white, it's hard to see. The eastern boundary line is going to be right at the mouth of that beginning of that meadow right there, and it's going to go up into that. See how the treetops they're gentle on that slope over there. You can see that on the topo. But anyway, this up there to a cliff on that side, on top of the cliff, across the canyon I showed you in the bottom, and come back and around for the western boundary, hitting up here and shooting out that direction. All right, I'm gonna walk around up here a little bit, give you some views of the huge views of the Spanish Peak. Okay, that was right on the flat top here. Now this is where that deer was just standing. Should see, yeah, we're gonna see the East Spanish Peak too. Maybe a little bit. It's around the edge of that cliff face over there. You can see it there a little bit. That would be the East Spanish Peak. Again, it looks about like that when you're standing here. So you got a nice large area here where you can do something on. This is from the west where we drove in. There's the power lines. There's the road we drove in on. Okay, we're headed back up towards my truck. I'm gonna fly my drone. I was trying to get a shot to show you where the northeastern corner is. You see all this white stuff right here coming out of that valley? We drove down right in this portion of the valley. I turned around about right in here, and we could see down the valley quite a ways. So up above you, the northeastern corner, it's going to be on top of the ridge over across the valley over there. Somebody had a little fire ring here at one time. It's a nice spot right here because you can see Fisher's Peak all the way that direction, and then you can see the West Spanish Peak here. I would knock down these trees and you're going to see the ridge line over there, and I can see through the trees it goes across Cordova Pass. You can almost see Cuchara Pass. Actually, in that direction right through there in those trees, you can see some of the Sangre de Cristos. So I'm going to try to fly it from here, go to each corner, and give a good overview of the canyons and the land, and then back.